Okay, I did. Yippee! Life. Okay. Things look good. Things look good. No. That's not what I want at all. There are 7 people. Who are you? Where did you come from? Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. Okay. Yep. Or wait. Oh, messed that up a little bit. Can you sneak in? Fine. Fine. Alrighty. Wrapping this up. Overthinking and passiveness. Okay. Sorry, I was just staring at a menu. I told myself I was going to be responsible in lab. That's boring to watch. Aki is now playing Skullgirls second encore. I'm so curious as to what is about to happen. What? Maybe I start finding an opponent in like 5 seconds. Found an opponent? I wonder who this could be. Actually, wait, it's not you. The connection is bad. I'm not playing that connection. I guess that works too. I'll get the Duncy Chan out of the way. So I might play a
Let's dance, darling.
team later. I gotta learn how to play the funny furry, man. Really? Ooh, that's... I thought I was on the ground, so I had already absolutely guarded. No! No. That didn't force you to block at all? Really? Not bad. Thought I could be greedy and not call Eliza. What? Was he cooking? That goes through. Throw. Excuse me. Destroyed. This Eliza's time to have a punch button is kind of stupid.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Yeah, we'll just... Stop. I'm still in recovery. Oh god, I forgot about that. There we go. Yeah, let us boy there, yeah. Got a little too antsy. You got hit perfectly every single time, so nothing I did was combo, which was the most annoying part. She really left. Not close enough. No! I should have just done level 3.
And now a word from our sponsors.
The Dawn cosplay got me.
One more time. Finally, the wolf has come back to New Marie. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Huh? I need to be ready to arm there. Why am I taking backwards? Go over that. I needed to airwolf to bail out. Still back. What? Don't think I'm dead. You've got to be kidding me. What did I just... I'm sad.
That's a wrap. One more time.
What did I just do?
Cameras rolling and action.
Yeah, I need to throw. You didn't. I was grounded? You really do that there. Okay, I really thought you'd respect the bones. Should have just done the bones.
One more time.
Heck, here's this. Too far? Really? Okay. Yeah, okay. I just need to run up, or fake running up and press 5 medium, or 5 heavy punch.
One more time. It's time. It's Beowulf time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
That didn't stop. You don't get anything. Goes. No. That's because I used OTG. Actually, I think no matter what, I need to spend. think I'm giving too much space going for a hype. Should have armed you for that. My arm? My arm? I'm not getting any matches. Wait, this? Didn't hit the assist at all. Does she go under that? She might. Funny bypass assist. Yeah. Too slow. Picked up her mind. Yeah, you get nothing. I'm fine with this. I'm gonna get everything to go for these unpacks. I need to remember that. Fine with this. Or I'm gonna lose it. What? What? Can't do that. I can't do that either. I guess. Card doesn't have to go for counter. Like, sure. Don't understand why these are dropping. Need to throw. It'd be nice if I could finish any of my combos. So confused my stuff isn't working.
One more time.
I'm not even mad about what's happening in neutral, I'm mad about not cashing out on it. No, I don't like to do that. I don't know. Right. I'm just slow. Forward boy days will be fun. Will happen. Okay, Uno Masa and we'll get started. Why am I doing this? Bayo, I wanna be. No. In this range for that exact reason. I don't have bar myself, right? It's my turn. What happens here? Yeah, I just. Oops. Why was that still same side? Horus was still on cooldown because of raw tag. I would have laughed so hard if they stayed under it. Okay. Horus was still on cooldown because I don't know if y'all know, but the global like helper cooldown for Eliza gets activated when she tags because she tags in with Horus. Yeah, okay. GG's. One of these days I won't drop all of my combos. But it is not this day. But yeah, okay. Welcome to Skullgirls Get Gr8. This is an educational little doohickey thingamawab where we will look at all your applications, try and find a good matchup for you, give you, in this case, 5 flat games, no matter win, lose, no matter the record, 5 total games to play against each other on stream and just give you advice. We highly recommend you usually pause the stream while you're watching. 1, save a little bit of bandwidth. Just help your internet out a little bit. 2, voices in your head that are like a 3-second delay. Usually kind of tough to actually get advice from, and it honestly might be distracting, so highly recommend pausing it while you're playing, listening to feedback afterwards, then kind of going through and building up a checklist of things you want to focus on over the next couple of weeks for your own improvement. Yeah, educational thingamabob. That's the technical term you wouldn't understand. But let me get the lobby pinned. Remove the old one. And let's get this show on the road. So I think first up we do have, yeah, Yiggly versus Oxygen. If you want, I can play another match before yours. No? Alright. Alright, you're here. There's Oxygen here. I hope so. Oh my god, it's too hot in this room. I love the southeast. Oxygen, where are you at? You online? It says they're playing SG right now. At least Discord does. This is why we asked for Steam profiles. So we can, yell at them. So they're in game, they live, but they're not here. Oh wait, Oxygen's here. Never mind, I'm crazy. I thought that was you. The lobby link is in the Discord channel as well, but if you need the link in Twitch chat, here you go. Sorry about that. You said you were here and I heard the join thing, so I assumed it was you. Okay, we're all good. My bad. This is what happens when I don't look at the screen. That one's on me. We're good to go. Yeah. Okay, and I don't think either of y'all asked for any specific feedback. It's the Ruby influence, Suki, you'd understand. Where's my water? Oh, it's empty. Alright. Oh, a little too early for spaghetti. We know how to play that. Does not feel like it. Punish? Oh, we do! Nice, okay. Mixed happens. Second corner. Kinda greedy for vials. What comes up? Falling button, being aggressive. Oh, that's a punish. Oh, that's a punish. If you hit them a little bit earlier, and it helps to choose a button that hits higher, so like your light punch and medium punch. 2 medium punch is pretty good for punishing that. Yeah, they're in recovery the entire way to the button. So you have more time than you think. Alright, ban Atron. I'm getting scared with how many rush punches you're using. Just hold this. PBGC. Okay. The gun. Mix and kill. Okay. Kinda getting an understanding for what's going on. So off rip, I kind of want to suggest your fortune can stay a little bit more grounded, at least to the point where you're getting like 1/3 screen away. You don't need to cover the whole distance in the air, and fortune has a really good grounded run, and so you'll cover a bit more space using that, and then get yourself into the air. Ideally, you want to be above them because jump, light, kick, your god's favorite creature. You kind of just it's really hard for a lot of people to mess with you. So yeah, that's one thing off rip I kind of want to suggest. Thinking about staying a little bit more grounded to make up a bit more of the distance. I'm assuming it's defense? Would have liked to see a little bit of an earlier touch block. Came out swinging. Oh, weird. Looks like almost exclusive. That. We gotta have these guards done a little bit more. Appreciate the nom attempt. That was kind of weird. It went the other way. Do remember you also have sneeze, which is essentially a reversal. Yeah, I'm getting out. Oxygen, you might be able to EKG. Or, yeah. Well-timed throw. Meshing. Not in the way I thought. Good job. See your work. Patience. Okay, double mirror. What are y'all doing? I don't necessarily like how much both of y'all take the lead. Double gun is a very good option. Same with heavy punch. Yeah, these armored punches. They train in brass. This band is a little antsy. Here's the corner. What's the nice. Sneeze. There you go. Bomber. Yeah, you're not holding anything. Okay. What do we do with this? Some of these situations, usually, I would like you to be using your jab more than your heel kick. Your tool K is a really good button, especially at its like max ranges. But in a lot of scrambles, your jab tends to be better. Your jab comes out faster, it has really good frame data, and a really good hitbox. Kill. Especially because you already have vials, like, I feel like I want you to prioritize forcing them to come in the corner rather than get a third vial. Attack. Unfortunate. Take the throw. skill here. Not combo. Might have needed a fast hold there. Don't the double run specifically, so I don't know exactly what went wrong. Tick throw again. Defense. I assume that was supposed to be a PGDC bomber. Ooh, L-gun, very sketchy. Very, very sketchy. M-gun at questionable ranges, almost always. I'm pretty sure you had your double jump usually. That is something to think about using. Double jump out of those air vortex resets is a very strong tool. Try and step over. Yeah, I go like do that at least 10 times so that's just get there. Make sure your next step kills for sure, regardless of the hit itself. I'm getting mixed, that happens. So, Oxygen isn't showing you a ton of respect in the scrambles. And so kind of getting in the mindset of mashing after something's gone wrong, at least, like... Again, this is dangerous advice. This is not a free ticket to churn your stick without thinking. It's just analyze what your opponent is doing. In this case, they're pretty aggressively pushing their advantage in every scramble situation and every slightly plus situation, even at times when I don't think it's necessarily their turn. And that is exactly where you can just go, I'm holding none of this. I have reversals. I have pretty decent reversals, as a matter of fact. I'ma just send it, because this player has shown me they're not willing to respect it. But again, it has to be... Because Oxygen knows when like scrambles are kind of over and you're getting antsy and trying to mash after them. It needs to be during the scramble itself. In, on the ground, love it. So like there, if you want that confirmed, you're probably gonna want to jab instead of like. Do we have a confirm? Oh, your assist was stolen from the down. Oh, it's working to drop. Kill the cat. There you go. Oh, delay it slightly. Pressing into beat extend, always sketchy. Got rid of your vial too, that sucks. So kill. Can we get a vial beforehand? But if you wanted to... No. Please keep the corner there, Oxygen. That's really scary. Yeah, I'm going to shovel this. Good burst, honestly. It's a projectile burst, so they can't even punish you forward anyway. Mix. Oh, no confirms. Okay, this matchup's... I assume you're going for A-trains. I hope they're supposed to be E-break A-trains, because if you just want A-train there, I would not recommend it. But, band? Your band kind of just wants to go forward. And I know it's scary. I'm upset. I hate that with a burning passion because Barrel isn't even a part of it. Yeah, distracted. But Band does still kind of just want to keep making forward progress. Even though he'll get clipped by things, you still usually want to be jumping forward, especially when you're not in the life lead. When you're in the life lead, you kind of don't mind sitting back and like camping with Giant Step. You've got all access to like those sorts of options, but Band kind of really wants to make forward progress, and you can use E-Brake to like armor through some things and then get that forward space. You have up forward double jump, jump light kick. You just have a pretty decent dash block. Obviously, you're going to get clipped by everything under the sun because you're big. But I mean, it's not an awful dash block, so it's just kind of like you've got a lot of these options. You don't need to be too afraid to approach, and then once you're too afraid to approach, only rely on the armored moves to approach. Like Band has a little bit more than that. Obviously, once you get more comfortable parrying, then things approaching can get a bit easier, but that is hard. I'm not gonna say it isn't. Oh no, you need to cat sled. Snap instantly oxygen. That's crazy. There we go, this virtual match makes a little bit more sense. But oxygen, I understand connection's a little tough sometimes, but head confirming those will help a lot. Throw those in. You're mashing it in? You're not? Okay, you're gonna stop. No, they're not quite dead if you do this. So I'm pretty sure they're dead if you tar from the corner side and then catch them with Band level 3. I think that might legitimately be enough. It's close. Throw. Uh-oh. I would have done L-Bomber or Tar there on Wake Up. L-Bomber is probably the better option. Tar's a bit more reactable. Whoop, drop. And scramble. All in the band. Look off in space. Arguments do not burst anyway. But you're kind of just in the bad spot anyway. So, I think starting with the Igli, reiterate my points on Fortune approaching on the ground a bit more will help. I think you're trying to get a little bit too much done in the air. And there are a couple ways to think about it. One, her ground dash is just her fastest option, period. So you'll cut off the most ground on the ground. Two, I like to think about mobility as a resource. And so it's if you're using your jump and then your air dash to get that space, all of a sudden you don't have an air dash or a jump to try and open them up. Instead, you just have your double jump and you're landing on top of them. So it's really simple for them to block high, push block you out. As opposed to if you approach on the ground, you kind of put them in the, oh, if they run up for half a second, I have to respect low. And then you up forward and air dash at them. And then it's like you're kind of playing high-low from that range. And even if you do it from a little bit earlier, like you just keep all of your options available to you. You're not committing anything early. So I would like you to try and play grounded a little bit more. Honestly, a lot of the headless I saw was pretty solid. It's hard, but it might be worth starting to think about controlling where your head is going to end up while you're using it. So, like using a zoom to get it towards you as it ends, or zoom away and then sneeze if it's behind them, and so the sneeze kind of lands on top of you. It's hard. It's a lot to keep track of. but it might be something to start thinking about, especially if you kind of want to commit to being a more headless heavy fortune. It's a lot of fun. It takes a lot of work, but I liked a lot of what I saw already, honestly. The double as well could afford to play a little bit more grounded for a bit of the same reason. It's like her gun, the Luger special is a really strong neutral tool. Not to say that her jumping normals aren't. Jump heavy punch is a really good button. Jump medium punch is a good pressure tool. Like, this is not to say never go in the air, because your characters have good air tools. I kind of just want it to be a bit more of an active choice. I want it to be, I'm in the air for this reason, not I'm in the air because it's what I feel like. Because you do eliminate some of your really strong options. So Luger, like I said, double has a really good anti-air with 2 HP. And so staying on the ground always gives you access to that. And if someone else is jumping mindlessly at you, you can swap them out of the sky. It takes a little bit to get used to. It's a bit slow. But if you get good at timing that, especially if people, again, commit all their mobility resources. So a squiggly player will oftentimes like jump and then double jump at you. At that point, there's nothing the squiggly player can do, and they have to respect your 2 HP. If they press, they lose. They can try and play around it a little bit, but like it is very heavily in your favor. And so it's like getting used to using your grounded tools, I think, will help a lot. Talked about the band already. It's just a little too antsy. I think you need to be a bit more patient and just understand you're gonna have to go through hell to close out some screen space. E-brakes help when you're in range. Jump light kick is a phenomenal pressure tool. I just kind of want you to tone down the full send brass or A-train, because those are pretty big risks that leave you open to big punishes. Not to say e-brake in and of itself isn't a risk. You can get caught out doing that too, and so it's just like, but it's less. You're not caught in a ton of recovery. Usually you're kind of just getting clipped at an unfortunate time, or they're calling you out because your e-brakes are predictable, but that's a different story. I feel like those are the biggest things I noticed for you, Yiggly, outside of drops. Drops happen. Obviously, ironing them out. Just spend a little bit of time in lab when you've got a little time to kill. Just go, okay, I'm going to play a couple of songs, practice this route, try and get it a little bit more consistent. I'm not a big labber, so I understand not necessarily enjoying doing that, but touching it up here and there, that'll definitely help. Please let me know if you have any specific questions, by the way, because I can also answer them now. But for Lucent, or for Oxygen, sorry. Yeah, that's funny. SG is a labber's game, so a lot of people tend to like it. I'm weird. I like the neutral, which is like a choice. So I am not a double player. I cannot answer that question well. It will go on our lab thing. That's unfortunately what it is called. So you're right on that. I can't give you tips on what you are necessarily doing wrong, because I haven't practiced it and ironed it out myself, so I don't know what visually correct versus not looks like. If you want a faster answer, you can probably just ask in the server, and they'll give you a much more coherent answer than I could. Yeah, and then so for Oxygen, like I was telling Yiggly, you are very aggressive during scrambles, and honestly, while you're getting mixed as well. You're leaving yourself open to taking big risk. Big risk. Didn't really get you as punished this time. You got clipped a couple times for it. But it didn't lose you any games. That being said, it is still a dangerous habit. I really liked the double neutral. I think you could afford to use a bit more punch, a bit more heavy punch. The funny Fugazi knuckle that just controls space, and then you use the gun afterwards, and you can't get hit. Very strong neutral tool. Very strong neutral tool. I can't remember. I feel like I didn't see you fast fall your jump heavy punch all that often. I don't remember you using it too much either, but that is a habit to start playing with. Fast falling double jump heavy punch is a really good timing mix-up. You also mess with people's push block. It's very much in your favor. So highly recommend getting used to fast falling, like deliberately your first hit, your second hit. Third hit helps more with combos than pressure, but it's still a thing. And then for the Valentine... Crouch heavy punch is really good in neutral. A lot as an anti-air. It's not quite as good as a grounded poke. It really depends on the matchup. Like versus Parasol, 2 heavy punch is a phenomenal button. It kind of goes under a ton of what she wants to do, and she sticks her feet out, so it like really clips people. But you're probably not going to use it as much in a matchup like Beowulf. It's a really solid grounded poke, but it's not... It really depends on the matchup. It's like you're not going to use it versus a grounded Eliza all that much, but Eliza in the air, like, rub your hands together and wait for her to land on you and just kill her. It's a really good anti-air. Neutral poke depends on the matchup. For the Valentine, had a problem with throwing away vials on accident. I know that's hard. You can fast fall jump heavy punch by hitting jump heavy kick. Jump heavy kick kind of extends her downwards so she touches the ground faster. Fun fact, you can also do it with your jump medium punch as double. Very strong pressure tool to mix up timings to mess with PBs. Play around with it, see how it feels. It's quite strong. Especially because some of the hits of jump heavy punch I don't think have that much block stun, so you really can jump scare people with jump heavy, like first hit jump heavy punch, fast fall, and just instantly dash up throw them. Yeah, I mean, the vials thing is just like, I have to say it because I saw it, but I understand. I don't get Bella clap consistently, and it's the same thing. Like, oh, they made that win. Like, you've got to be really precise with that tap. Beyond that, for the Valentine, jump medium punch is a really silly pressure button. I saw you use jump light kick in some situations where I think I wished you would have used jump medium punch. I don't know if you were just making sure you couldn't get crossed under or anything, which, if that's the intent, fair enough, but like, jump medium punch is so good for running your offense as Valentine. If you can drag yourself to the ground with it, it's usually the right choice. What else did I see from the Val? I feel like there was... I saw this with Val more than with Double, but I think with both characters, also once you kill someone, I would argue prioritizing the corner and screen positioning as opposed to any setup. So like with Val, you went for vials instead of forcing them in the corner, especially when you already had tier 2 loaded anyway. I would argue the screen positioning is more important. Corner is brutal in this game. So I think I would like to see you prioritize that a little bit more. Yeah. Honestly, I liked a lot of what I saw. I'm gonna call the other gamers and answer any further questions you'll have if you have any. But we will get faded and lucent in here. Yeah, no, Valentine 5 or jumping medium punch is quite silly. A little goofy. got Lucent. Where is Faded? Where is the solo Umbi? Maybe a Dahlia. We'll see. Where are you at? Where are you at? Come on, gamer. I already yap enough. We don't need this event to go any longer. I'm gonna need you to kill. Killing's hard. Bro, where's this camera at? Let me check the profile. They're currently playing CS2. All right. I'm gonna put this on the back burner and give them a chance. Let's get the next matchup in here. And if they're not back by the time after that, they're done and we'll find an open lobby. Sorry, Lucent. Sif and Rebecca. And I know Lio was asking about thought process. So part of this is kind of building an autopilot, which takes time. And so got a ping, thought it might have been, yeah. Takes time. And so the way I really like to think about forming a basic neutral game plan, look at my characters. What buttons do I like pressing? What buttons do I think are strong? The next step, very simply, I'm going to play to put myself in a range to use this button. And so for Parasol, for me, for example, I really like jab, I really like 2 medium punch, I really like 5 heavy punch. Her dash is really good for positioning, so I'm gonna put myself where, like, dash up jab is a threat, almost always. And that's just a good spot for me to be in, and then I'll play to use my buttons from that range. As you saw earlier when I was playing Aki, with Eliza, I try and do that with my 5 heavy punch a ton. That button's really silly. I like using it a lot. You kind of get to just randomly chump check people. So I play to be in that range, and then all of a sudden, like, ID jump medium kick is kind of a threat. I can dash up throw if they're really asleep at the wheel. And it's like, you can use this to get an understanding of where I like to space the most. And then you get a feel for what works where, when it doesn't. And from there, you have built a very basic neutral game plan that you can kind of go from. So if you feel like your autopilot isn't good enough and it's like you have to think too much to play neutral, that is what I want you to focus on. If you're not, once your autopilot is established, in terms of overthinking, I would focus specifically on, make yourself a checklist of things you want to improve on, and then choose one or two of those and just go, I'm going to focus on this, and kind of let your autopilot do its thing. It won't be as good as it always is because you're focusing on new things. So don't beat yourself up for making stupid mistakes. It's kind of going to happen, just it's a part of the learning process. But slowly over time, you focused on those one or two things. They become a part of your autopilot. You move on to another thing in the checklist. And so you're trying not to focus on too much at once, and that also really helps you ingrain the lessons you're trying to teach yourself. And all of a sudden you have a really robust autopilot, and you can just keep focusing on a couple small things. And that might also help your passivity, because if you're focused on recognizing scrambles and when you can press, again, that's like an example, like bullet point, where it's just like, in a scramble, I'm going to press something and see how it goes. And it doesn't even have to be like, I need to press intelligently. It's just going to be, I'm mashing jab, I'm mashing a reversal, and I'm just gathering a ton of information about what does and doesn't work in different situations. That's how I go about it. Someone like Mario tends to go into VOD review and just lab every single scenario. It's like, what if I press this here? What if I press this here? What if I press this here? Pick your poison. And it's like, that can help. But that being said, let's get y'all going, and I'll see if I can point out specific areas where you're kind of caught staring, and give you some ideas of where you might be needing to press a little bit more. We're good to go. Oh, like I said, BRB, I guess. Okay. And they're back. Yippee!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
That's a sketchy round for Mario. Good people you see after the fact, but oh man. I think you don't want the OTG them like that, because you want them to be lower for themselves, right? Yeah, I was gonna say, they're in Lizzie's full, so you're gonna have to touch them a lot if you want to kill them there. Probably all of the fighters, or not fighters, killers full screen. What is our intent? Yeah, that's a strike. Shotgun does not count as a projectile. You do not get to burst that. I understand if you were just trying to delay tech, but that's tough. Why did we reset there? I don't know if that was supposed to kill, but either way, good block, good land cancel on the incoming. That is so unfortunate. You had the item drop out. You're supposed to item drop once they ended it. Or you, in general, you just item drop the gap, so they can. Yeah, you're not allowed to shoot a shot through that. Subcon resist? Oh, you should have done Bike's Fireball. Bike's Fireball if you wanted to get out of that. Could have also alpha countered if you were bullet. And just had her take a little bit of chip. I feel like you could have just killed by first fight. Might
That's a wrap.
So Lyo, one thing I saw, at least with the Dahlia, is it felt like you ran yourself to the corner a decent bit, which is a dangerous habit. Not to say you should always go forward, but again, just bullet point to think about is stage awareness. How much have I given up space? How much more can I afford to give before I'm in a really bad situation? But we'll see. That was just one game? What's that? Pika. Well, you better be going forward in this match. Neutral jump from heavy kick monster? Oh, just throw there. Unironically. I think you can afford to get a shot out there. Yeah, I know that matchup's not fun, but I think you're doing a bit too much of the assault. You're trying to use that to get through everything. I also do need to ask you, Lyo, what is the game plan behind push blocking the projectiles? More often than not, if you're push blocking the peacock zoning, you are just putting yourself in extra block zone. So it's dangerous. The mix. That's the second time you've burst their replica. I'm a little scared. Fair enough. Corner. I think you could have run up and then set that up. This clone is not doing much for you right now. Yeah. Good defense. Oh, you can BFF that after that push block. Good tag. I think you can BFF that as well. Patience. Oh, do not let them reload in your face. Oh. That's not how you can film off of that. That's supposed to be a 5 medium kick. It do be like that sometimes. Alright, Dahlia, we go forward.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Don't attack backwards. Attack forward, please. What? Oh yeah, you can't be doing all that in this place. I think the Peacock needs to figure out how she wants to bail the corner a bit more. Because outside of teleport, you don't seem to know much, which can start getting called out. Bro, That really went over? I like that button press. That's actually so unfortunate. Good throw. One shot. That's a problem there. No. Whoa, you could have checked that replica. What's going on? Uh-oh. But yeah, Lyle, we gotta finish this one burst and not burst there. Even if you burst their alpha counter, it's starting to get more advanced, but food for thought. You should be dead, is what I would say. You're mashing. I probably could have burst you again. I'd be very careful about that. To 5. 5, 5, 5. I mean, level 3 has hit stop, doesn't it? Wait, I didn't... What? I didn't change the date for the stream type? Whatever.
Be the both of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Yeah, Lyle, we're relying so much on our souls to get through this learning. And it can be a useful tool, but it is not the only tool. You've got a decent dash block on the ground, as long as you don't get caught in your startup. But, like, I don't think I've seen you super jump. Super jumping is not useful versus this character. What's your game plan? 8 shot, 8 shot, 8 shot. Be very careful going for those 8 shots when you have the C4 on you. It's not as big a deal anymore, but you should have been dying for that. What a bold. Don't push till pet. That's minus. Crazy, isn't it? Y'all are matches. Lady. Yeah, this sucks. Kind of just have to hold a lot of that. There's nothing on the screen. You gotta make forward progress. You gotta run forward. You gotta go forward. Especially when there's nothing on screen. There's not much to worry about. I understand the peacock is spooky, but she's spooky when stuff's on screen. When stuff's not on screen, make forward progress. Constantly march forward. If she's giving you that space, take it. There was nothing on the screen. You sat in down back versus item drop and stand heavy punch. Versus Peacock, you kind of need to be comfortable enough with your movement that you can look at least halfway down screen and see what's coming and plan accordingly. And so it's like, I see nothing on screen, I am dash jumping. The dash should have, for most characters, will avoid the item drop. The jump will get over her heavy punch if she uses it. And you'll land in time to go under her airshow George. Like, you need to be paying attention to what the Peacock is doing if you want to get it on her. That's gross. Yeah, we gotta stop push blocking these projectiles. That is hurting you a ton. And you can always tag out Parasol or Fukua to save your character. Or Alpha Counter or DHC. You do not have to leave right beside. Light counter hit. Also replica. I mean the both of you. Smash like crazy. Why go for the nuclear option? You got so lucky how that connected. Push ball, push ball, push ball. We gotta get her off of us. That's crazy. Tag out. Bike guy? Oh, bike guy there. Ah, it sucks. What do you do with this? Okay. Fair enough. Better be a kill. Oh, push block got land cancelled. Or blocks got land cancelled. You are not life lead, Lio. I need you to keep this in mind. But you are playing a character who has some really good chips. But yeah, you gotta do that with a little bit more awareness than just, oh, they level 3'd, I'm gonna BFF. It's not a bad idea. Just fish for it when they're landing, fish for it when it, like, if you see them in the startup of a bullet, full send it close to the ground. Like, that is a decent answer, but there has to be a bit more of a plan behind it. So I think I'm gonna start with replica. The biggest things that got me were the Peacock. I would argue is a little over aggressive, at least versus a player who struggles with the zoning. But the biggest thing is your Peacock needs more ways to get out of the corner. You relied almost exclusively on teleport, which will get you caught and called out. It's not an option to never use. If you believe your opponent's going to overcommit past it, by all means go for it. Or if you have the wall of projectiles or an assist, like, there are ways to keep it safe to get you out. You were not using them. So there needs to be other options. just super jump over them, Avery, air dash, jump heavy punch, and like just fly. That is an option. It's like all of these will incur some risk. Don't get me wrong, you're escaping the corner as a zoner. But teleport is the one a lot of people are really looking out for and really ready to punish. So be very careful doing it as much as you were. And again, think you could zone a bit more. For the both of yous, y'all gotta stop pressing in the air. Like, while you're getting hit. Y'all got burst bait like crazy, both of you. It was pretty consistent. They would, like, either of y'all would go for a burst bait and the other would just send it on it. I understand one of them, you might not have understood just quite how long the hit stun of shotgun is. And that's kind of a thing in and of itself. But y'all got bursted a lot. Learning how to mash more? Okay. I understand. That's fair. But there is a point where you have to recognize this has worked every single time. Maybe it's time to reevaluate. But I mean, that's just a part of learning. How to be a bit more aggressive is fine-tuning the... Versus this player I need to do more, versus this player I need to do less. It's a part of the process. Again, this is not a don't mash at all. Please don't do that in this game. You need to be a little ignorant playing Skullgirls, but it's a skill to tune. Pay attention to your opponent's habits, pay attention to habits you've shown previously, see how you can condition your opponent while you are playing defense. And if they refuse to be conditioned, take that information and understand if they burst bait, I'm probably out scot-free for the most part. And you know they're going to burst bait, because you've only shown burst. So it's just kind of start trying to play that mind game a little bit. Because it was a bit of an over-adjust, at least currently. But yeah, okay, so beyond that, for replica, trying to remember which dolly I'm thinking of, because replica almost always was the one using girls, which hit or miss super. Yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend using it as much as you are, but it definitely controls neutral. Might be worth trying to think about layering your pressure behind it a little bit better. So just go for low throw, because they'll be in block stun almost the whole time. So, or go high-low, sorry, because you're not going to be able to throw them all that much. Asterisk, if they push block anything the girls do, if you can time a throw for that PBGC window, that'll work really well. Just beware of them mashing, although you don't have to worry about mashing as much because the girls are out. So it's just kind of like, can use it a little bit more effectively. I feel like those would be the biggest things for you, Replica. I don't have too entirely much to say. Besides, and this applies to both of you, maybe try and think about your assist calls a little bit more. Lio, you had once or twice where you called Pillar full screen, not doing much for you. Replica, on hit, using your assist for mix honestly was solid. I liked what I saw, but calling it as part of your zoning, I was curious how much of that was part of the zoning pattern versus you just had your assist up and you called it. Yeah, and so moving on to you, Lio. So yeah, the assist usage is... want there to be a little bit more intent behind it. And so that might be a thing to add on your bullet point list, where it's just focus on assist usage. Try and make my assist calls deliberate and not habitual. A big thing that will help you versus Peacock, and I said this a couple times, is unless you're fishing for a specific PBGC window, do not push block her projectiles. at least full screen, like full to half screen, part of her zoning. Unless you're really trying to push her to the corner, it does you so much more harm than good. Because you can think about push block as putting yourself in a locked 25 frames of block stun. That's how long push block lasts for, and you are in block stun. Like, push block puts you in all the properties of block stun for the entire duration. So all of a sudden, you're stuck there for longer, as opposed to, I think most of the projectiles probably have in the teens. PVGC does not reduce chip, no. Not that I'm aware of, not in this game. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm 90% sure it doesn't. So I hope that helps. Yeah. Hey, we learning. Beyond that, again, when it comes to the Peacock, if she's giving you the screen, you need to take it. So if you don't see projectiles on screen nor on the way, move forward. And this also applies to thinking about all of your mobility. If she clips you with something randomly and you have a tech opportunity on the ground, ground tech forward, not backwards. So you just get that space. Everything you're doing is to get close enough to be a threat. Especially with Dahlia jump heavy kick, if you are in the right place at the right time, shuts down Peacock. There's not much she can do about it. She has to respect it a ton. Especially now after the changes where the bombs can go away on hit. Because if you time it right, they don't even trade. Like, you don't even have to deal with the horror that Race was dealing with pre-patch. Fighting Nope all the time with that. And again, like, watch those VODs and see what Race is doing, where he's positioning himself, and how he's using jump heavy kick. And you'll get a really good idea of what range Dahlia's trying to be in to kind of start shutting Peacock down. It's a hard matchup. But again, you need to diversify your movement a little bit more. Assault can go over some things, but you're kind of just assaulting into the plane a ton. I don't know how much I saw you super jump. Super jump is really good for going over plane. Oftentimes you kind of get clipped by item drop, so it's usually you're trying to avoid item drop somehow, either with a dash or you can chicken block and then super jump afterwards and try and avoid things that way. But super jump is a really good mobility tool to get used to using more. I like it a lot. Did you do super jump assault? I swear I wasn't saying super jump. I might have been crazy. But yeah, there are other ways to get through the zoning. I might have missed the super jump effects. For whatever reason, for me, it really looked like just normal jump. So I might be delusional on that. Same thing with Parasol. Parasol's super jump is really, because she goes higher than everyone else in the cast. Parasol super jump is really good for Peacock. Super jump heavy kick tucks her legs in and gives her float, so like she just sails through the sky. An item drop will clip you, but you go over everything else. Emigrit can be used a little bit more in that matchup, but in general, you kind of just, again, need to be focused on moving forward in that matchup. And so it's hard, but you need to start looking for those opportunities, because once you start looking for them, that's when you start recognizing, oh, I have the space to move forward. And then it becomes a lot more just, you're not thinking about it anymore, you're just making forward progress. Which is the goal versus Peacock, because the second you're mid-screen, all of a sudden zoning is a decent bit less effective. It's like when you can start threatening things. Is there much else I wanted to say? I don't know if you caught my TED Talk at the start, but I talked about kind of overthinking and just making an autopilot game plan, because that helps you focus on a couple other things. Yeah, so it's there. definitely go back and catch that because I hope that will help as well. And then for Fuqua, I think you just need to play to your ranges a little bit more. I felt like you weren't representing much of a threat. You tried to play a bit more zoney, which is fair. Like, that's where Fuqua excels. But, especially when you need to be aggressive, focusing on spacing and being in range, down forward, jump heavy kick, down forward, jump light punch, jump heavy kick, to 2 HP, to present a threat. Because it felt like you were a little bit too far out of range most of the time to really force them to respect anything. And I think that's most of what I have to say for that set. Again, any further questions, please let me know. I'll answer them now. If they pop up later when you're watching the VOD again, just ping me in the server. I'm here to help. So if something I said didn't make sense, I'll say it a different way. I'll try and elaborate. I'll try and re-explain it. Alright. Alright, giving Faded like 1-2 more minutes. Y'all can hop out, please. And if they're not here, it'll be an open lobby. Yesent. Both of them you're wanting to make forward progress. Peacock is a bit more about analyzing the thing she's throwing at you and going through it. Robo is a bit more putting yourself in positions where she can't hit you with beams, and then sometimes guessing which beams she's going to use. So it's like you're moving forward, but in slightly different ways. But Dash Block is very useful in both matchups. I will say that. Dash Block is a phenomenal tool in this game, period, and it's really effective versus the zoners. Okay, we have Lucent. Apologies for the wait. The second the clock hits 8:14, I'm just getting Tsuki in here. Because, come on. Also, man, I apologize for yapping as much as I have been. Jeez. Spent 30 minutes on each set. Hopefully it all makes sense and it's not incredibly repetitive. I need to work on being a little bit more concise. Okay. Tsuki, get in here. Wait, was it Tsuki that? Yeah, it was Tsuki that wanted to. Alright, let it rip. And because you're an open lobby, I will be focusing mostly on Lucent Tsuki. I just want to make sure I'm understood, so I say the same thing 3 different ways. The problem is when they understand it the first way, I'm just repeating myself. Extended. See? But we are stuck in the corner? How do you fight your way out? Oh, caught overhead. Weird, push blocking none of this? There we go. Push block with second tier explosion and Parasol can do that, can they? Oh, hit confirm, gamer. Oh. That's big band coming. Get that. I'm sorry. Huh? She went over your check? I really like that button press there. Why did it lose? That's just unfortunate. Like, I'm sorry. In my head, you were right. I don't know why that didn't work there.
Cameras rolling and let's rock.
Oh, didn't follow it. Together. Stop dead. Push blocking, that is dangerous at that point. It's only complete. Cat slide. Good confirm. Yeah, but you gotta keep track of combo stage. Because you got on there with an air dash. What are you attacking for? Even if you avoid the shot like that, it's still kind of not the same space. You had the bar to kill. I think I would have much rather you just kill. Nice. Oh. Murder.
Player one wins. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Take the space. Keep track of IPS. Happy birthday. Still don't think it's enough. I don't think that's either. That's actually really funny. Trying to call, I agree. You can 2LP under that. of your fortune. I don't know if we've seen you actually mash up much. I would have also liked to see you threaten to kill that possessed. That sucks. Yeah. That just happens. Bella. Yeah, you're giving Mitsuki a ton of respect. I don't know if we've seen you mash outside of a PBGC, actually. Yeah, I think that, like, one of the biggest things, honestly, to me is you're just resetting too much. I think you can kill and spend your meter more. You're left with a ton of meter at the end of a lot of these games. Yeah, just run on that. There you go. That's crazy. Take her back in. Second side mid. Nice. Fortune's getting a little antsy in a lot of these situations. You're kind of like up-backing and then not threatening anything. Oh, you press it. Oh no! I think after that push block, it's your turn. I don't gotta be that afraid. You're giving Tsuki so much respect. Tsuki's kind of just throwing it back in your face. You gotta mash on them. They're not respecting anything whatsoever, regardless of turn. Yeah. Do be careful when you see a known push setup. I'm talking more about scrambling situations. If you're listening in right now, listen. Yeah. Mashing and scrambles is very different than mashing when they're in control. Maybe I need to be a little bit more specific when I say that up front, but it's like we get a scramble, they kind of force you to block, and then it's like, oh, jump to medium punch. They're just like, I'm sending it. They're not going to do anything about it. I'm sending it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
That caught you. Wow. No, just run under it. Just run under it. You don't gotta stand block it. Or even crouch block. If you stop to block the shot, you will block it. If you just keep doing your dash, you go under it. Honestly, that press probably should have been beat extend. Just no beat. If they block it, they get chipped out. What a parry. These? Yes, we do. Okay, how do you play this match? A big slappy. Obviously, hindsight is 20/20, but if you see them being no beat extent, if you see them being that aggressive with the air-to-air symbols as your friend. Okay, push one. That. Sorry, you kind of just got the mix on accident. That's funny. I assume that was supposed to be DP. You were so right, I'm so sorry.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Okay, so let's go into the void, whatever. So biggest things, Lucent. I think you're just a little too hesitant in scrambles, especially like with Parasol, Brain, Fortune. With Fortune, your jab is nuts. Your jab controls a lot, and you can kind of just throw it out there and like try and control the pace of the game. Highly recommend jabbing more, mashing more, and scramble specifically. At least if you're playing versus someone like Tsuki. Again, this is me paying attention to your opponent's habits, which is like you're around to the place where you just need to start asking yourself, how am I getting hit? And if there's a consistent answer, so like in this case, it's Tsuki pressing jump to medium punch in your face, or just pressing something. Tsuki was always pressing when it was kind of up in the air whose turn it was. And that is a habit you need to get into of analyzing. Even if you're not like fully analyzing your opponent's flow chart, they do this when I'm here, they do this when I'm here, they do this when I'm here. That is a very easy way to analyze how to alter your defensive habits to deal with your opponent. Because how you're getting hit is one of the easiest ways to recognize, oh, I'm getting hit in scrambles because my opponent's just tweaking. I'm going to mash on them. So it's just kind of getting used to stuff like that. And that was one of the biggest problems. The other big one for you, Lucent, I talked about earlier. I want you to meter spend on kill a little bit more. There are arguments to be made for greed. But at the very least, when you have the ability to spend meter and bring your opponent down to their last character, almost always greed is the wrong choice. You should be killing. Because you get rid of DHC options, you get rid of alpha counter options, you get rid of assists. Like, for duo, saying they've lost... like losing a character is losing half their team is kind of disingenuous because you're losing significantly more. And so it's just the same way where putting an opponent on their final character is almost always worth it. So I kind of want to see you spend more. And so yeah, it's just like all that stuff going forward. And then again, the other side to that was you also just kind of ended games with a decent chunk of meter fairly often. So it's like, you got to spend it somewhere. Spending it on hit, because getting 5 doesn't help you anymore. It's like, once you have 5, you're not getting anything. So you kind of just got to get rid of it. Spend it quickly. Let the meter rain. The final thing is a little bit more minor, is your hit confirms. You had a chunk of hits that didn't result in anything. And some of that was you're going for tick pressure, but some of that was you're pressing a light and not pressing anything afterwards. Which, no one's hit confirming single lights in this game. Like, this game's too fast for that. So, press a follow-up if you're gonna commit. It's just a good habit to get into, and it will help you hit confirm a lot more. Because if you press a single light and then don't do anything afterwards, you're kind of just, you're taking all the risk of pressing and forfeiting your chance of getting a combo. So, high risk, low reward. Kind of just commit to it. I feel like those are the biggest things. Please let me know if you have any more questions. Otherwise, we'll be getting Aki in here. And this is an advanced open lobby unless Aki very specifically wants to fight me, which I have a sneaking suspicion might be the case. Apologies if that's coming through on mic. Sorry, I am really fiddly today, and I forget I don't have an audio cleaner for stream. What is this name? Alright, what you want? Open lobby? You want me? What are we getting at? Do you want this to be an open lobby? Do you want to play me? What's the deal? If my controller wants to. Am I advanced? Am I really? I don't know about that. Any team you want to play against? Probably not going to play the Bayo because I want to focus on giving you advice, and I'd be way too hard thinking about me. Let's do this.
Let's put an end
What do you do with
to
those? Fair enough. Really? Okay. Head, please. That was close. This Valentine really is just running in. That's crazy. Alright. Fair enough. Flashing there. Pop, pop, pop. Let's do that. Why did I catch you? Be very careful about calling your assist there. I flubbed talking it. BFF me there. Nice. Good combo. I don't know if I agree with this. I feel like this puts you in a kind of worse spot. I feel like you want to stay Fuku there. Partially because it gives you essentially better OP. Like, I still control where I tech, but it puts you in a much better spot.
One more time.
That kind of just completely resets neutral, and I have Parasol with 5 bar. Oh, so that was Parasol. Tier? No! Okay. Well, I did use that. Huh? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I gambled with the H shot there, but it was kind of my turn after you got hit by that. I feel that. I don't know why I thought I was the other side of you. Yeah, this Valentine needs to control more space. More darts, more jump heavy kick. Nice. Yeah, these. It's hard. Right, that's throw volt. I'm still playing 2021 Fortune. Yeah. Good BBGC. Keep the corner. Oi! Lightly missed time. I was first turn too. Nice! Wow, okay. I thought I was safe. What am I doing? Good bait. Ooh. Oh. What? Excuse me? What just happened? Okay. That was awkward. Yeah, you are getting caught being very, very aggressive.
One more time.
Time to pull myself together.
I think you gotta chill a bit. Similar to what we were talking about last time. That's crazy. Okay. Dude. Dude. That sucks. Wait, my head? How my head took that? We are very angry. That's kind of coming out. No, I wasn't possible. Doi, doi, doi. None of that. Yeah, I know it's annoying. Goofy off puppet character, but if you can't get around to my head, you kind of just gotta go forward. Ooh. Well done. Alright, how do you play this? No, I thought I'd snipe it. I recover so much. Maybe I needed to jump medium kick.
That's all, folks.
Yeah, good awareness.
One more.
Punishing my being passive. I was trying to get cheeky and play around my alpha counter, and then I kind of just let you run up and do something. Fair enough. Call her again. Really? Okay, so a lot of the advice is more of the same. And I know part of it was because, like, the game was genuinely just making you angry, and for good reason. Like, that BFF going backwards was, oof. I timed mine slightly better, but even if we did it at the same time, my spiral would have made me win that interaction. But part of that, the reason I DP'd there in the first place is the thing I'm going to talk about. No, because Eliza would still be coming in. Eliza would have still been coming in. The reason I did that like that was I was calling you out for doing something like that. Because you were very consistently aggressive. And so part of it was honestly really solid offense, but there were parts of it where I kind of just sent it. And I knew somewhat consistently you'd be going forward. Especially, so it's like at the end where I burst bait you. And I understood part of this was just tilt and you were done. But I just knew you were gonna mash and didn't want to hold anything. But that was kind of true for the first 2 or 3 games where you were just going forward a bit too much, a bit too predictably. Where especially the characters you're playing, oh, you guessed teched. Okay, you know what? Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. I misread that. Just yeah. Yeah, that setup's fun. And then beyond that. When a player starts showing, that, your team has some really good tools to whiff punish that. And so if you want to feign aggression and like neutral jump, which is a pretty big call out for the record, because it's like if you neutral jump, it's kind of hard for you to follow up anything if you're not outright whiff punishing them after the fact. But like, you're still controlling space, you just kind of reset to neutral. But it's like you neutral jump with Parasol or Valentine, and they whiff, and you hit them with a big heavy butt. Or at least Parasol hits them with big slappy, Valentine probably air dashes forward. Maybe with a medium instead. But like, you've got those tools. You can stay on the ground if you think you can avoid it that way. So it's like you space out a parasol pillar, or you space out in quotes fiber, but fiber you're usually going to be sitting there waiting for it in the air. But you can see it or time it so that your button checks the fiber afterwards. And so it's like, I don't think I saw you press, what's her name? Valentine's Stand Heavy Punch once. That button's silly. I know it's a little awkward to convert off of, but you do have M Shadow, which makes your job easier because you just do 5 Heavy Punch, bypass M Shadow. That button probably would have cooked me checking use in some of the ways that I was. Other than that, which I'm gonna kind of leave at because we already talked about a decent bit before Mix Masters, or before Get Great or Be Great. Some of your DHC choices, I don't know if I necessarily agreed with. The aggro is a good baseline. I'm not going to tell you to stop, but learn to adjust your offense once people represent that they're going to check you. Have an answer prepared. Because that same style of aggro, if I'm on a bad day, that'll just run me down. Because I'm getting pissy that someone's always pressing and not playing the game right, in quotes, instead of just doing the thing that forces them to play the game right. So you've got that. Yeah. The meter spend. So there was one situation that really put me off where you did Fuqua Fireball into EKG, and I would have really liked you just left it at the Fuqua Fireball to keep more control of the game. I don't think you got a substantial amount of life back. I just genuinely think Fuqua in control of the game there would have been a much better option than EKG for a tad of extra damage and as resetting neutral entirely. There were other times where... There was one time you went fully through your DHC roster where you mashed as Valentine, which made sense. You did a Parasol Super after, or I'm pretty sure it was a Parasol Super after, and I fully expected and really wanted you to stay on that Parasol, whether even if you just did bikes, or I think in my head I was thinking you were just going to level 3. But then you went all the way to your Fuqua, and for whatever reason that kind of put me off, and I don't know whether it's I didn't want your mid to be the character with the lowest health, because then it's like I kill them and I have a pretty free time killing the mid. Part of it was also, now that I'm thinking about it, part of it is you don't have a combo DHC afterwards. So it's like now if your Fuqua has to mash and do something, all of a sudden you're stuck with Valentine mid and tough. So I feel like your meter spend in terms of like team order and game state, not necessarily as much as damage, could use a little bit of looking at. Because for whatever reason throughout the set it was kind of bothering me a little bit. And then the last point, I think this was for Val, which is your like one of your more fresh characters, but in general my fortune kind of just got to run at you, and at least I didn't feel like I was deliberately changing up my neutral all that much, and so it felt like you just weren't adapting to a grounded fortune, because I play her weird. But so it's like, keep that in mind, where it's like I'm poking with Stand Heavy Punch and then canceling it with L Fiber, and so it's like you can avoid the Heavy Punch and then just sit there waiting to whiff punish the L Fiber sort of deal. That sort of playstyle is really weak to just chucking a dart at my face, or a cross at my face. I feel like that was the final big thing, because I liked that you had honestly adapted to mash a bit more, at least at the start, because my fortune really just does stuff in your face, and if you respect it, I'm gonna win. That's kind of how my fortune goes. So it's like, I'm not mad that you started mashing early on in the set, because that was what that is what the doctor ordered. So So I was like, it definitely wasn't all bad. You were doing some things, and then I think the game hoed you a couple times, and you got in your head. And it happens. Again, why that BFF? Just why? That is this. Oh god, yeah. Bro, this game is whack. That's a good spot to be, though. For real, for real. Just like sigh and say Skullgirls. I'm not perfect about it. There are definitely days. I mean, honestly, I was not being good about it when we were playing before the event. It took me a second during the freeze frame to register. I was like, wait, she doesn't usually look like this, and then the clone went the wrong way, and I'm like, huh? It's just like, why was my anchor point to the other side of you? What happened? Yeah. We play this game for money, and I'll leave it at that. It's just like, oh my god. Oh, what a silly game. Alright. Unless you have any other questions, I will remind everyone, please just ping me in the server with further questions if you're watching this back and that something didn't make sense. Gladly answer anything you have. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Aki. Hope it helps. Rapid fire announcements. What is today? Saturday. Hunter's Hustle, beginners tournament tomorrow. Join the server ahead of time, and if you haven't, take a placement match. They really like to make sure they keep the level of play to a certain standard there. So they will test you to make sure they're comfortable with you playing in their event and they don't think you're too good. I said rapid fire and then I'm going down the rabbit hole. Love Hunter's Hustle. Do a lot of work to help beginners. Highly recommend. Monday, for now, Cheekly Weekly, 8 p.m. EST, a normal bracket. Tuesday, Danison hosted through the Mixmaster server. Go get your standard Danison League. Wednesday, us, Be Great, 8 p.m. EST, standard bracket. No holds barred, everyone welcome. Thursday is Mixmasters, 8 p.m. EST. Signups usually close around 7:30 EST, so beware. Can't sign up last minute. Also Saturday, we will be hosting a VOD review, per usual. Time not set, depends on who's hosting, whether it's East Coast, West Coast, and Life. God, I always feel bad. I keep on saying I need to figure out when Kanji's Life is. Friday has a beginner's bracket, and it might also still have Honest Skullgirls, which is a solo bracket, but those events are not weekly, and so I cannot tell you what. Keep an eye out for Fridays. Then next Saturday, 1 p.m. EST, you've got a bracket in the morning, Raw Tag Rumble. Then a week from now, we'll be Get Great again. So, that's what's coming up this week. Appreciate all y'all for showing up. Hope this helps. Have a good one.
And my spectator.
That's okay.
Oh, nice! Ooh!
Oh, we avoided
Let's go.
it. Nice.
Oh, let me see it.
Hey,
Here's the combo.
you finished this. They died.
It's somewhat of a combo,
Nice.
yeah.
Hey, they're dead.
We're missing a few more parts to it, but
Yeah.
We got Abomination.
It's like we have some bombas, but like our knowledge of the mechanics of the game are not exactly there just yet.